Our next group of problems, we're going to divide. We'll write the fractions in simplest form. With problem number 4, we have the mixed number negative 2 and 4/3 divided by negative 3. First, I'm going to change my fraction, my mixed number, into an improper fraction. 7 times 2 is 14 plus 4 is 18. So negative 2 and 4/7 is the same as negative 18/7. I'm going to divide by negative 3, and I'm going to write this as a fraction, so negative 3 over 1. I said this in the beginning, but it's time to refresh that. We never divide by fractions, and instead, we multiply by the reciprocal. And remember that other name for reciprocal was multiplicative inverse. So I'm going to have negative 18/7 times 1 over negative 3. My result, because I have a negative times a negative, my result's going to be positive. And now I just need to multiply straight across, or I could simplify first. And I prefer to make my number smaller than bigger, so I'm going to simplify this. 18 and 7 have no common factors. Neither do 1 and 3. But look at the diagonals. 18 and 3 are both divisible by 3. 18 divided by 3 is 6, and 3 divided by 3 is 1. And now I can multiply across. 6 times 1 is 6. In the denominator, 7 times 1 is 7. And the result is positive because we're taking the product of two negatives. Number 5, we have 9.6 divided by 8. I'm going to set this up in division form. 9.6 divided by 8. Notice I didn't write down the negative in my division. I'm just going to keep that negative straight in my head, and I know a negative divided by a positive is going to be negative. So I'm going to go ahead and write that negative result right in there in front of my answer right from the beginning. And now I can treat these just like positive numbers. 8 goes into 9 once. 1 times 8 is 8. We'll subtract and we get a remainder of 1. Drop down this 6, and 8 goes into 16 twice with 0 remainder. Unfortunately, I made a mistake. I didn't quite do it right. The answer is not negative 12. I forgot to carry up this decimal sign 9.6. My result is negative 1.2. The key there is just to keep that decimal point right above the place where it was in your original problem. Our last problem, number 6, 6.45 divided by negative 30. I'm going to write it 6.45 divided by, I'm just going to write down positive 30, but I know the result of a positive divided by a negative will be negative. 30 goes into 6 0 times. Let's go ahead and put that decimal in there now, 0 point stuff. 30 goes into 64 twice. 2 times 30 is 60. I'm going to subtract. I get a remainder of 4. Bring down this other 5. 30 goes into 45 one time. 1 times 30 is 30. And I get a remainder of 15. Well, I don't have any more decimals written down to bring down, but we can assume that the rest of the decimals are zeros. So I'm going to bring down a 0 and ask 30 goes into 150 how many times? Well, it turns out that is 5. 5 times 30 is 150, and so we have no remainder, and our result is negative 216 one-thousandths. Our last problem is a word problem. It shows that an investor own stocks in A, B, and C, what is the mean change of the value of these stocks? We see this word mean, and it confuses a lot of people because we had a different word for mean in elementary school. In elementary school, you don't use the word mean, you just use the word average. The problem is, in middle school and high school, the word average is not very specific. There are three types of averages that we'll typically learn in middle school and high school. In this case, the average we're talking about is the one where we add up all of our numbers and divide by how many there are. So to find the mean of these three stocks, we are going to add the three changes in values and divide by 3, and that will be our mean or average. So this problem, I'm just going to set it up first. Negative 180.39 plus 127.28 minus 280.52. And then this whole thing is going to be divided by 3. My process in simplifying this, I'm going to go ahead and add those two negatives together because I know they're going to make a bigger negative number. So the total lost, 180.39 plus 280.52. 9 plus 2 makes 1. Carry the 1. 1 plus 3 plus 5 is 9. Keep that decimal in place. 0 plus 0. 8 plus 8 is 16. And then finally 1 and 2 is 4. So in total, we've lost negative 460. And we're going to add to that the positive 127.28. Now remember, when we have a negative number plus a positive number, the sign of the result will be the sign of the number with a bigger absolute value. In this case, it'll be the negative 460.91. And we're going to find this by doing 460.91 and subtracting the 127.28. My result from this subtraction, I'm going to have to borrow 11 minus 8 is 3. 8 minus 2 is 6. 0 minus 7, I need to borrow again from the 6. I'll write it as a 5. 10 minus 7 is 3. 5 minus 2 is 3. And 4 minus 1 is 3. So as a result, when I simplify this big original expression, the sum of those three changes in value is negative 333.63. And we still need to now divide this by 3 to get our result. So I'm going to write it over here. 333.63 divided by 3. Since my original number is negative, I know my result's going to be negative. Let's go ahead and put that decimal up where it goes. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into the next 3 once. And the next 3 once, all with no remainders. 3 goes into 6 twice. And 3 goes into 3 once. So to answer this question, the mean change of the stocks is negative $111.21. I'm going to go ahead and put in a negative dollar sign in there. We're talking about negative money. On average, he lost $111.21 per stock.